guess for starters, kind of tell us what is going on right now.
All right, so approximately 7:15 this morning at 285 Hunters Mill, Cayce Police Department responded to a call of a body located in the front yard. We responded, emergency services responded, found the individual deceased in the front yard. Currently what's going on behind me is the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, Cayce Police Department investigators, and the coroner's office are reviewing the scene. We're also interviewing neighbors, family members, trying to determine exactly what happened.
Do we know if this individual was a resident at that home or it was just found?
We know the individual lived at the home by himself. Again, there's nobody else that lived in the residence, but we are currently trying to identify exactly what happened. At this point in time, we don't know why or how it occurred, but we don't believe it was a homicide. We are piecing together the evidence at the scene. We're also, again, interviewing people that he worked with, family members, friends, and neighbors as well.
So when did you get the report that body was in the lawn?
Approximately 7:15 this morning.
I'm looking at the body. I know it's probably more of the coroner's end, but maybe you guys have been in contact right now. Were there any wounds or any signs of what may have happened?
Well, what will happen is the coroner's office, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, crime scene investigators, Cayce Police Department investigators, we will piece together the evidence at the scene. We will look at every piece of information, every detailed tips or evidence that we find at the scene, and we'll try to make that determination.
Now, did we know the identity of the individual?
The coroner's office will release that later.
Okay. And then you can confirm that it is a male, correct?
Yes, male. I don't know his approximate age either, or name. I'll get that from the coroner's office.
Simone, do you have some questions?
Yeah. So y'all don't suspect foul play or anything like that?
At this point in time, we're looking at all angles, but again, we don't have any indication that this was a homicide at this point. But again, we have to make sure that we piece together everything. We make sure we process everything purposefully and very clearly and concisely to make sure that we don't leave any stone unturned and make sure that we find out exactly what happened.
And an investigation like this, how long do you believe it'll last?
It could, that's the thing is we don't want to do anything too quickly. We want to make sure that we process the crime scene very thoroughly. We want to make sure that we interview every individual that may have either seen something, heard something, maybe somebody that he worked with, maybe a neighbor. And we want to make sure that we take our time and make sure that we, listen, for the family, for the friends, for him, we need to make sure that we do this the right way.
And he was the only person in the home at the time?
He lived by himself, and at this point in time, we don't have any indication there was anybody else there, but again, we've got to make sure that we piece that together.
Something like this typical in this community?
Cayce's a great place to live, work, and play, and you don't get calls like this very often, and when we do, we take them very seriously, and we want to make sure that we identify exactly what happened so that we can assure the community that it is safe.
Dwayne, what'd you got with WAS there? Sorry, keeping you.
No questions for me.
Okay.
Dwayne's good.
All right. Anybody else? One or two more before he goes.
So what type of evidence are you guys looking for right now that could possibly help your investigation?
We'll look at everything on the scene. I mean, it could be, anything that was recovered, whether it was his personal belongings, whether there was something left in the yard. We'll look at everything, whether it was inside or outside the home. We'll make sure that we process the scene thoroughly.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chief.